Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Boom Broadcasting presents Three from Deep. I'm your host, Jason Colenso. Welcome to the show. Welcome, guys. Happy Wednesday. What a great time to be a basketball fan. We are knee deep into the NBA season, about 13 games away from the playoffs beginning. We are also in the heat of March Madness. They just had the selection show on Sunday. And guys, if you haven't checked that out already, Boom Broadcasting, the new show, you got to check it out. Hoops and Helmets with my man Aaron and my man Carson, their first show dedicated to the tournament. And the next couple of shows they're going to be doing, I think, are going to be really focused on March Madness. So, guys, if you need help setting your bracket, jump on Boom Broadcasting YouTube network. It's on demand. So subscribe, jump on there, go back, watch that show from Monday. Aaron and Carson got you, man. So you can get your brackets and in your office pool, because I know that's a lot of bragging rights out there too. So just a lot of excitement with March Madness. And of course, a little bit of drama too. UNC making the tournament when a lot of people thought, these guys kind of got in because of their name. And the Prez, Mr. Michael Davis, on his Out of Pocket show on Tuesday, talks about that a little bit too. So you guys got to check that show out too. Again, anything on Boom Broadcasting that is recorded, you can jump on there and see on demand for $0. So please subscribe, jump on there, check everything out that has to do with the NCAA tournament. You will not be sorry, and it'll help you win your office pool. But Three from Deep, we talking about the NBA right now, and we're going to jump right in to some streaking going on again in the NBA, but this time it's the Houston Rockets. So, man, the Rockets on a tear. Monday's victory against the 76ers, 144-137 in overtime. 7-game winning streak for those young upstart Houston Rockets. What a great win for them. They were down 25 points, up to 25 points. They were down and came back and ended up winning that in overtime. So I know the 76ers aren't very good, but I tell you what, man, I hate to do this digging to you guys, you Mavericks fans, but Quentin Grimes, man, he is going to turn out to be one heck of a player. Drops 46 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 assists, or 4 assists. I'm sorry about that. What a performance from him, but still the 76ers don't trust the process. They're terrible right now, and we'll talk about that a little bit later too. But I want to talk about those Rockets right now, man. Second in the West. This 7-game win streak has moved them up. Ime Udoka has to be up there for Coach of the Year. Of course, all the drama, him leaving Boston. He's an excellent coach, and he is proving that right now in Houston with this team. So they're 44-25. And just to put that in perspective, guys, only 2 years ago, they were one of the worst teams in the NBA. They only won 22 games in 2022-23. They were 14th in the West, one of the worst teams in the NBA. Got a little better the next season, 500 ball club, 44-44 or 41-41. So respectable, 11th in the West. So they got better, but now, man, are they on fire? Second in the West, 44-25. That is a great job for such a young team, and it is turning out to be a complete team. I mean, they're doing this right now without Amen Thompson, who hopefully should be back this coming Friday against the Heat. Fingers crossed, because I see him as a superstar pretty soon in this league. But Jalen Green drops 30. Jabari Smith, 30. Alfred Sengun, their all-star, 30, 15, and 5 assists. Dylan Brooks dropping 25. Fred VanVleet, he only had a few points, but still, this team is playing really well. Got to watch it there in the West here. We got this young Rockets team, and they take that streak on the show coming up here tonight, Wednesday at 7 o'clock. They go visit the also young upstart team, Orlando Magic, with Paulo Banchero and Franz Wagner. I just love saying those names. So you got to check it out, guys. This is a team that just not that long ago had a 6-game losing streak from January 30th to February 8th. They had a little slide. They slid back in the standings. But for this young team, even with some injuries, to now go on this kind of streak, 7-game winning streak, is very impressive. And again, Ime Udoka needs to really be considered coach of the year. So I don't know what the Rockets are going to do in the playoffs. Once we get the seeding and everything done, we'll go ahead and we'll do kind of a playoff show, and we'll kind of go over some different things, because this Rockets team has a chance to be dangerous, has a chance to scare some teams out there. So very, very impressive win. Let's see if they can keep it going. We'll see tonight. If they win tonight, and they keep the streak alive, we'll bring that up on Saturday's show. So guys, be prepared for that. So and then Monday night, I got to talk about my New York Knicks trying to keep the ship right without Jalen Brunson. He's still going to be out probably another week to 2 weeks, which to me is fine. I'm hoping they can get him back with maybe a few games left in the season, so this way he can have his legs under him and get a little game shape for the playoffs, because we really, really need him. But I tell you what, that team has stepped up here. Josh Hart, the heart and soul of that New York Knicks team, man. His 8th triple-double of the year, 12, 13 rebounds, 11 assists. Great job there, playing fantastic defense, and that's what I love seeing in these teams is defense. But Monday night, beating the Miami Heat, 116-95. And we'll talk about the Heat here in a second. But Karl Anthony Towns, 23, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Mikal Bridges, 28 points. So these guys are doing what they need to do, what the Knicks want them to do when they brought him in here. Karl Anthony Towns needs to be the double-double monster we know he is. Mikal Bridges needs to be an all-star like we know who he is. So it is exciting to see that. And it's exciting to see, although beating the Heat is not the biggest victory for them, because right now they're reeling. And we'll talk about that here in a second. But a win is a win in the NBA. I will take it. Still in third in the East. I hope we stay there. And I hope we keep it going here. So go Knicks. But I do want to bring up something. I hope my man Tracy Morgan feels better. This is all over the internet right now, and I really feel really bad. Supposedly had some food poisoning. So if you all haven't seen it already, he's got some video of him up chucking on courtside. So, Mr. Tracy Morgan, I hope you feel better. They had to take him out in a wheelchair. They did the Paul Pierce and brought out the wheelchair, wheeled Tracy Morgan in there. He did not come back to the game. They did take him to the hospital, but hopefully he feels better. That's definitely not the way you want to go viral. My OG man, Mr. Tracy Morgan, a huge Knicks fan, so I got to show you some love. But definitely not the image you want. So if you have a weak stomach, please don't watch any of that video. I feel better for him. So get better, Tracy Morgan. Get better, Tracy Morgan. But the biggest story of this game is the Miami Heat. Man, this Jimmy Butler drama after the trade has really just killed the Heat, man. Oof. 8-game losing streak right now. Eric Spoelstra, this is his longest losing streak he's ever had in his career. So look, Eric Spoelstra is not a bad coach. He is probably one of the most underrated coaches in the past 15 years of the NBA. He has coached championship teams. Coach Spo, they had him fired like when he first started, but he has really proven himself and shown that he is one of the best NBA coaches. So it is rough to see the Heat and the Heat culture go through these retooling, rebuilding pains. My man, the Prez, Michael Davis, is a huge Heat fan. Loves some Tyler Hero. Um, we were texting back and forth, and he wants to lose these games. He wants to get a good draft pick, and that's the question. Is Miami? Right now you're in that last play-in. You're 10th. You're 6 games. The Raptors are 6 games away from you from sliding into that 10th play-in. I don't know if that's going to happen again. Only 13 games left. But if the Heat keep losing and maybe the Raptors keep winning, they may be able to slide in. But as the Heat, do you start resting those starters? Do you start putting in some of the younger guys, some of the bench guys? You go down to the G League and pull up some of those guys, and and start resting Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo so they don't get hurt, and they kind of just say, this season we're done. Let's try to get let's try to get in the draft lottery. Let's try to throw our hat in the ring for Cooper Flag. I know the Prez would love to have Cooper Flag in a Miami Heat uniform. That's a stretch, but that seems to be the way the NBA is right now with this draft lottery thing. I still don't like it. Although the Knicks have benefited from it from the first one, the Patrick Ewing drama, where that kind of like, the stuck ball at the bottom, and we ended up getting it here because we were able to draft Patrick Ewing. So there's always been drama around the draft lottery. Not a huge fan, but you don't want these teams to tank for players. So I get it. And you don't like saying it that way because these guys are NBA players. They do have respect for the game. They do have respect for themselves. But you get into the front office where things are a little bit different and players are not players. They're a commodity. Things get coached and things get done differently. So I think that's one of the biggest reasons why they still have the draft lottery the way it is. But I don't know, Miami Heat. I hate seeing you. I used to live in South Florida for a long time. Been to Heat games. Love me some Dwayne Wade. Big Ronnie Cycli fan because of course goes Syracuse. And I'll never forget the Knicks playing the Heat when Alonzo Mourning got hogtied there in one of the fights with our coach. And of course, I can't remember his name right now because my brain is not working, but that's a whole nother story. But, I love the Heat. They're kind of my home away from home, being a New Yorker. So Heat, I hope you figure it out. I hope you can land yourself some free agents and get that Heat culture back to where we know it is. So we'll see what happens. A lot of concern in Miami. So right now, watching everything unfold with keep hitting my mic here. Watching everything unfold with the way the playoffs are kind of forming right now. A lot of scenarios. The East is not as big of a shock scenario wise as the West. So East, as we're playing playoff leapfrog, there's some teams leapfrogging each other here. Right now in the East, the biggest ones are the Hawks versus the Magic, 7th and 8th spot. They would kind of still play each other even if they flip-flopped. But that's kind of your leapfrog right there. The Hawks, Magic, they may kind of switch spots here. Hawks 32 and 36, Magic 32 and 37, so a half game off there. So I could see them kind of switching places a couple of different times by the time we make it to the playoffs. And then you have the Bucks Pacers. Again, it looks like they're going to play each other in some shape, form, or fashion. Bucks 4th, Pacers 5th. They may flip flop back and forth. They're essentially tied, in the win column here. I think the Bucks are. I think they have the head-to-head ahead of the Pacers, so they're just slightly ahead in the 4th place. The Knicks would really have to do some big losing, and the Bucks and the Pacers would have to do some big wins over the next 13 games to kind of see that kind of movement. But I don't see that here in the East. So it's looking kind of like that is really shaping up to be those playoff teams are kind of almost solidified. But man, you go to the West, that's a whole nother story. Now, besides OKC, who is leaps and bounds ahead of everybody, um, the Rockets, again, that 7-game winning streak has vaulted them back into second place. Denver Nuggets, a close third. They're essentially tied. The Rockets are just, again, I think it's either head to head or percentage points. I got to double check that real quick with the NBA here, but both 44 and 25. So Nuggets, they rested Joker the other night. So how much will they use him down the stretch to make sure he stays healthy? Because that Nuggets team really needs him some Joker. And then the Rockets, they should be getting healthy as we come up here. Again, Amen Thompson, maybe back on Friday. So do the Rockets stay in that second spot? Do the Nuggets jump over them? That's going to be some big moves right there. You also have the Lakers versus the Grizz. Lakers slid back into that fourth place spot. Grizz are fifth place right now. Lakers 42 and 25. Grizz 43 and 26. So one game separates them. So fourth and fifth may jump leapfrog each other. But again, these are only a couple of games away from second and third. So, if one of these teams goes on a 4 or 5 game winning streak and another one goes on a 4 or 5 game losing streak, you're going to see some leapfrogging here in the West. And then the biggest one to me is the Warriors and the T-Wolves. Right now, again, you're talking about percentage points. The Warriors 6th in the West, T-Wolves 7th. So right now, the T-Wolves hanging on the outside in that play-in tournament. They were in the Western Conference Finals last year. They're a dangerous team. They're getting healthy. Gobert back. They should have Julius Randle kind of ramped up and ready to play some basketball. So T-Wolves, if they can kind of make some moves and the Warriors start falling back a little bit, they may be in the play and then the Wolves may take over that 6th spot. So, dude, there is a lot going on, especially in the West for this playoff series. These playoffs coming up here pretty soon. So the next 13 games are really going to be super important for all 6 of these teams. It's going to be really exciting because it may come down to the last game, which for the NBA is really exciting, especially with this whole play-in tournament thing. So, guys, stay tuned. We will touch base on this on 3 from Deep with your boy NY. Once the playoff seeding kind of gets set, we'll have a little playoff extravaganza here on 3 from Deep, and we'll discuss, who's gonna play who, and who looks like who's gonna win. So, and guys, we're gonna take a quick timeout, a little deep breath, a little zen. I promise I won't do a Tracy Morgan on you. Sorry, buddy. But I was thinking the other day, while eating a bowl of cereal, I still like some cereal. I'm not a young cat no more, so but I still like to do some childish things. I essentially build Legos. I still like to collect toys. I love sports, of course. So still kind of childlike in some of the things I do. So man, I was thinking, man, what are my favorite breakfast cereals? Because I know there's a lot of people out there that still love to have cereal, whether it's for breakfast, whether it's for a snack, whether it's for dinner. I've done it all with cereal. So, guys, I'm going to give you my top 5. I'm bringing the top 5 back. I haven't done it in a couple shows. So, I'm going to bring my top 5 back. I want to talk about my top 5 favorite breakfast cereals that I enjoy, and I switch them around because, of course, if you can't have the same one over and over again, because then it gets kind of boring. So my number 5, I'm going to start with the healthy stuff first. I love me some Raisin Bran. You get a little Raisin Bran, you cut up some bananas, maybe sprinkle a little bit of sugar on there. Boom. So you kind of eating healthy, but it's still got a little something to it. So one of my favorites. There's nothing like being a little regular. So, as you get a little older, you got to kind of take care of your body a little bit. So every once in a while, Actually, a lot of the while. I try not to eat bad anymore. Every once in a blue moon, I'll do a little treat here and there, but your boy is trying to kind of keep all the extra stuff off of my belly here. But love some Raisin Bran here. Number 4, Golden Grams, even dry. Boom, just got a nice taste to them. I like cutting up bananas in that one too. Again, throwing a little healthiness in there. Bear with me, but I love me some Golden Grams. Just ever since I was a kid, for some reason, they got just a good taste to them with the milk, nice and cold. Boom. Um, Number 3, and this is probably one of my deepest favorite ones. And I love some Rice Krispies, but man, I love the Cocoa Krispies. So I love the cocoa ones. The regular Rice Krispies are nice for the Rice Krispie treats, but when it's cereal, the Cocoa Krispies. Because then when you pour the milk in, then it makes it chocolate milk. Boom. Love it. Cocoa Krispies, man. Number 3. Good stuff. Number 2, one of my favorite, but it hurts my mouth every time I eat it, but I don't care. Peanut butter Captain Crunch. I don't know why. It kind of just digs in the roof of your mouth and makes you a little raw, but it's still some good stuff, man. I love peanut butter. I love me some peanut butter Captain Crunch. Good stuff. And my number 1 favorite cereal, it's probably the least healthiest one of them all. Only kind of comes out during Halloween now. You don't see it as much anymore, but I love me some Frankenberries. I don't know why. I loved them when I was younger. I love the marshmallow with the strawberry, with the milk. It's just good stuff. I can eat it dry. Boom, boom, just as a quick snack. So I love me some Frankenberries. So, guys, just a little insight and a little bit of more information about your boy, New York. Whether it's too much information or not, I don't know, but I hope you enjoy it. And please drop me a comment. I'd like to know what your favorite breakfast cereal is. So, like, subscribe, drop me a comment. Everybody wants to know, everybody has a favorite something. So, I'd like to know your favorite cereal. So, again, Raisin Bran, Golden Grams, Cocoa Krispies, Peanut Butter Captain Crunch, and some Frankenberries. So, guys, there you go. That's enough for the timeout. I appreciate you listening. So we're going to get back into the action because right now we're getting into that layup line. Here we go. Layup line. So first things first, the 76ers, just when you think it couldn't get any worse, let's just get worse. Paul George, Podcast P, however you want to call him, signs a 4-year, $112 million contract in the beginning of the year. Philadelphia. $53 million a year. Woo! To play 41 games, average 16.2 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 4.3 assists. So that's just a little over $1.2 million a game. Was that worth the money? Podcast P. Is he worth the money? 76ers, you're hurting yourself for it because he is out for the rest of the season. I guess he's got that left knee and abductor muscle. They're doing some treatments on him, so it's going to be a pretty much a process for him. Trust the process. Oh, playoff P. But man, Paul George, which stings because Paul George is a really good basketball player. I hate seeing him hurt. It stinks that Philadelphia is really going, through all these things because as a New Yorker, I love growing up watching Philadelphia. I'm a huge Julius Erving fan, Dr. J, Mo Cheeks, all those guys, Moses Malone. Allen Iverson was one of my favorite players to watch because I am slightly short in stature. So to see Allen Iverson go out there and ball and be an MVP was impressive. So 76ers, I hope you figure it out. I think you need to do some trading in the offseason here. I think playoff P needs to go somewhere else. I think Joel Embiid needs to go somewhere else. Quentin Grimes has going to be a stud for you guys. So I feel bad for the Mavs fans. There's another guy that you let go that is flourishing. So that Luka curse still exists. But man, Vio con Dios, playoff P. Put your knee up, do some podcasting, get your show back on. And then another season-ending injury here for the Pels. Man, they've had a rough season this year. Fourth worst team in the NBA, 18-51. Even with Zion playing some halfway decent basketball, Trey Murphy the third out for the rest of the season. Tore his right rotator cuff in 52 games, averaged 21.6 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 3.6 assists. So not a slouch. Actually played very, very well. But the Pels, I think you need to do some moves. I think it's time to move on from Zion Williamson. I think you have a chip there that you can use and do some trading and maybe get some draft capital, maybe get yourself a couple of guys to get that team back up because New Orleans is a great city, man, and they deserve a better product than what the Pelicans are putting on the court right now. And I wish they would change the name. I was not a fan of the Pelicans. Um, yeah, they need to change it. I don't know. I think they need a rebranding. They need a fresh start. Keep them in New Orleans because that's a great city, but change the name, guys. I'm not a fan of Pelicans. And then we got AD news. Mr. Street Clothes himself, aka Mr. Glass. Um, Finally maybe working up to get back and playing some basketball. Looks like he's going to start in the G League with the Texas Legends because he has now become a Texas legend. So Mavs, man, to be a Mavs fan right now is rough. They only dressed 8 guys the other night. They're in danger of forfeiting games if they lose anybody else. So hopefully they can get Anthony Davis back up and running. So at least they can kind of limp to the end of the season. But man, that Mavs team is hurting. You got to feel bad for them. But who we don't feel bad for is Nico Harrison. He is the GM of the year in the NBA because you have completely destroyed one franchise and reinvigorated another. So unbelievable. So hopefully the Mavs can get back on track and figure some things out. But Anthony Davis may be back playing in the NBA here soon. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, he doesn't re-injure himself playing in the G League. And then, guys, we got some pretty big games going on here Wednesday. Some games to watch. Again, you got the Rockets versus the Mavericks, 7 o'clock. Can the Rockets extend that winning streak to 8? It's going to be close. Magic's playing good basketball. Rockets playing good basketball. I think this is going to be a heck of a game. This is going to be a fun game to watch. So if you have one game to watch tonight, to me, that is the game to watch. Please, Rockets, Magic. It will not disappoint you. You do have the Mavs versus the Pacers. Again, Pacers trying to keep pace in the East, and the Mavs. The biggest thing is are they going to have enough guys to play? They just may start pulling people out of the stands. I don't know if they're allowed to do that, but anything is better than forfeiting games. Pistons, Heat. Do I hear number 11? That's 11 losses. I hope I don't. But Pistons, Cade Cunningham, unbelievable. Bickerstaff, to me, is my coach of the year to take one of the worst teams over the past 5-6 years to turn them around. Cade Cunningham now looks like a number 1 draft pick. So I think the Heat are in trouble right now. My Knicks play the Spurs. Of course, the Spurs, everybody's hurt on that team too. So we'll see what happens there. But I hope my Knicks cannot let these kind of games go. We need to win. We need to kind of keep that momentum going into the playoffs so that when Brunson comes back in, we're firing on all cylinders, guys. And then big game, another big game tonight is the Lakers and Nuggets. Will Joker play? I know he's been nursing the elbow a little bit. You know, this is the time of year where teams are trying to get healthy. So do the Lakers start sitting guys? Do the Nuggets, do these teams start sitting people? So it'd be interesting to see. And then just check it out on Thursday night. Probably the best game of the night is going to be the Bucks versus the Lakers. Giannis Antetokounmpo versus the Los Angeles Lakers. So we got some big games going on, guys. We have the excitement of the playoffs is really ramping up. Teams are fighting for and jockeying for position. Those play-in teams want to get ahead because I don't think they want to play in that play-in tournament. So this is going to be an exciting playoffs. And then Saturday, guys, be prepared. 3 from Deep is going to be joined by Mr. Shannon, aka Podcast Smitty. I'm gonna have me a special guest, so check it out on Saturday. We're gonna have a nice little special show for the weekend. So I hope you guys enjoyed today. Again, my name is Jason Colenso. This is 3 from Deep. I appreciate you being here with me. Like, subscribe, jump on Boom Broadcasting, guys. If you haven't done it, you got to do it. We've got some great content providers here. You will not be disappointed. So I will see you on Saturday. Peace.